Social Security was not meant to be a retirement, your full retirement. It was only meant to supplement your overall retirement.
And welcome into the program. This is Financial Focus, brought to you by the best of the best in financial services, as named by the readers of the Lake City Reporter, 10 straight years concurrent and running. They are the team from GulfCoast Financial Services, and founder and CEO John Kuykendall here with us, as always, keeping us financially focused on those important goals and helping us to formulate that financially focused written retirement income plan. And John, today going to be talking about some factors that you try to address or avoid when formulating that plan. And this is the 6 myths of retirement, 6 myths of retirement. A little bit of a tongue twister there, but certainly don't want to get caught in any of these commonly, unfortunately, commonly held myths or misconceptions.
Well, Peter, that's right. The number one myth that comes up is people say, well, I can live off of my Social Security alone. And, Social Security was not meant to be a retirement, your full retirement. It was only meant to supplement your overall retirement. And so, you look at Social Security today, the average check is about $19,000 a year. That's not a lot of money. I mean, you don't even have to file taxes if that's all you make. So it's not going to be enough. In today's environment, with prices rising and taxes going up and everything costing more, we're just not going to be able to keep up with inflation, Peter, if we rely totally on Social Security.
Now, John, we often tout on the program the value that pensions once offered retirees. But looking back, I mean, it's not like everyone had a pension either, even in previous generations where they were much more commonplace than they are today. But by and large, personal savings has replaced that pension that companies used to offer. That was meant to supplement Social Security.
Yeah.
For a true lifestyle, right? Social Security is an anti-poverty measure at best. That is kind of the hope for it, is meant to keep you just at or slightly above the poverty line, which is not replacing the paycheck nor the lifestyle of most of the individuals that would be tuned into this program.
Well, that's right. When we did away with the defined benefit plans back in the 80s, we came out with the IRAs and the 401ks as a way for us as individuals to save money out of our paycheck and set it aside to supplement Social Security and be the part of our retirement. The problem is that a lot of people aren't saving, Peter. And so therefore they're not putting up that money in that IRA or that 401k, or they're not matching to the full potential of what they can put up. And so therefore we've got a shortfall. And too, Peter, things are more complicated now than they were when we did away with the defined benefit plans. It costs a lot more now in retirement. I mean, I can see now where, based upon our lifestyle and our active lifestyle and the things that we want to do in retirement, that it will cost every bit as much as our last paycheck, our last annual paycheck to live. And then we got to account for inflation going forward. So we can't say that I'm going to be able to live on 60% less than what I did my last year of work. That doesn't work anymore.
Well, it's not even that we're not contributing or capturing the match, John. Even for folks who are doing that, myth number 2, that might be all people are doing if they are taking that step to save and contribute to the 401k, which is good, but that's only step 1, and generally only contributing enough to capture that match still is not enough to replace the paycheck and create lifestyle in retirement.
No, I mean, you got to remember, Peter, that most 401ks have a 4 or 5% match. You put up 4 or 5% and the company will match it. That's certainly not going to be enough. We need to put up at least 15% of our salary in order to continue to save for retirement. So just doing the match isn't going to be enough. We've got to do more. We've got to plan ahead of time for retirement. We can't live for today because, Peter, hopefully there is a tomorrow, and we want that tomorrow to be as good as it is today.
Yeah, just doing some quick math here, John. If we had a career of 30 years and only saved 5%, that's a year and a half worth of the income that we are used to and accustomed to that we have put away. If we made the same thing over the course of our entire career, which usually is not the case. Now, if the company's matching, fantastic. Now we've got 3 years worth of our income contributed, but retirement very often is what, 25, 30 or more years?
That's right. We're gonna be retired almost as long as we work, and in a lot of cases longer. And so we really need to have that savings account banked, and we need to have, as we said before, that financially focused income plan that looks at your assets, diversifies them, looks at Social Security, Medicare, taxes, and everything in a cohesive group so that you can see it, because we can't go through retirement without a roadmap.
Well, I know that we have heard a lot of discussion about redefining retirement or rewirement. But John, myth number 3 is sort of changing the concept completely here, is the idea that I will work through my retirement.
Well, there are a lot of people. I notice there's some older people at Publix when I go get my groceries at the checkout line. But, only 27% of the people that are retired actually work in retirement. There are a lot of things due to physical limitations that we can't do. And so we can't work as long. We don't have the stamina to stand on our feet as long. And so therefore, with health reasons and just aging in general, we're not going to be able to work continuously through retirement. Now, some of us may be lucky enough, like me, to have a job where I can sit down and use my mind as long as I have it. And we can continue to work. And I enjoy that. But if I had a job that required me to stand on my feet, do manual labor, I couldn't do it all day long. It just doesn't work. I found out the other day, I realized that I used to talk to a lot of elderly people in retirement when I was younger, and I would say, how's retirement? And they said, well, I just don't have any time. And it's not that they don't have any time. It just takes them longer to do everything because they have to take a break. So, it's not all about aging. We're not going to be able to work during retirement. And just like when we're younger and working, we shouldn't plan that we're going to be able to work every day of our lives. We should have a backup plan for that. And that's certainly a backup plan in retirement too.
Covering the 6 myths of retirement with John Kuykendall here on Financially Focused. If you've got questions or concerns, if you would like the article that we are citing and pulling from, or if you would like to craft, create, or update your written documented plan for retirement, that financial focused written retirement income plan, pick up the phone and give them a call, 386-755-9018 at GulfCoast Financial Services, 386-755-9018, or online, GulfCoastFinancial.net, GulfCoastFinancial.net. All right, turning the corner halfway through, myth number 4, John, Medicare will cover my medical expenses.
Well, Medicare is not going to cover all of your expenses. There are deductibles and copays. And as we know, going forward, Peter, I think Medicare is going to change. There's going to be a lot of changes in Medicare based upon how much we earn, how much assets we have. I think that there will be a tiered level of Medicare. So we might as well plan on Medicare costing us more. It already, for just me and my wife, it's $1,000 a month for our Medicare supplements and our drug cards. So, it's not free and it's not cheap. It does cover a lot of things, but it doesn't cover long-term care. It only covers the first 100 days of recovery in a facility. After that, you're on your own. And I understand that the national studies are that it costs $54,000 annually for a assisted living facility. And in a private room, that costs $108,400 a year. So, we've got to be able to plan for that, have some kind of contingency. Medicare will not cover all of our expenses. And the average family married couple is going to spend about $384,000 a year, over their retirement in medical expenses. So if you don't have that figured out now, you're in trouble.
And according to Department of Health and Human Services statistics, someone turning 65 years old today has an almost 70% chance of needing long-term care of some kind. Medicare can give us affordable health insurance coverage for doctor visits, medication, hospitalization once we are 65 or beyond, but does not cover many things, including, John, like you said, routine deductibles, copays, and maybe most importantly, that long-term care that we have an almost 70% chance of needing at some point in time. So this is a big one, John. I think this is a big myth that people need to sit down, understand the potential cost of, and document their plan to address it, right? Is earmark what assets might be used to help protect or offset those costs, or what the plan of attack is where they might need to leverage assets to provide protection. And I know, John, there's probably not a perfect universal solution, but everybody probably, if they did sit down and plan and strategize, has a reasonable solution for their set of circumstances on this.
Well, Peter, one of the things, because of longevity, and we're talking about the 70% chance, the reason that's so high is because we stand a really good chance at 65 of living into our 90s. And so, that we're going to need assistance. We're going to need help. Certainly, there is no long-term care insurance in Florida. We're not able to offer that anymore. Actuarially, they couldn't predict it. And so it just became a nightmare. So what we have to do is figure some hybrid way where we can cover some of the cost and set aside some assets that are going to help us and bridge that gap into that long-term care. But Peter, the main thing is that people need to understand Medicare is not free.
Right.
Part A is free, but Part B you pay for every month out of your Social Security check. And you also need a supplement and a drug card in order to cover yourself completely.
Yep. Number 5, John, speaking of that longevity, the myth and the misconception that it's too late for me to save for retirement. Look, we all wish we had started earlier. We all wish we had gotten going 30 years ago, but you'll never be younger than you are today. So right now is the time to get started, right?
Well, I guess a little's better than none, Peter. And so, if I couldn't have saved when I was in my 20s and 30s and 40s, certainly I can try to save as much as I can whenever I'm ready to start. And I've got the kids grown or whatever the needs are. And so it's never too late to start. It's just that we may have to adjust your plan based upon how much money we have to work with. And you have to understand that. But like I said, a little bit of gas is better than no gas in the car. And so a little bit of gas will get me down the road. No gas won't take me anywhere. Yeah. And so I'd rather have a little bit of gas in the tank and be able to at least have some type of retirement. Now, one of the big problems in America is we have a lot of wants, which have become needs. And so what we'll have to do is work on a budget, take some of the wants out or needs that we think we have, and put together a budget that works for you. But still, a little bit is better than none.
Myth number 6, John, I can do it on my own. Sometimes we need a little push, a little guidance, or an open mind that there may be other ideas outside of our own knowledge that could help to benefit us moving in the right direction, or maybe a roadblock or a detour that we might be able to avoid otherwise.
Well, Peter, I like to think of this as a doctor calling a plumber to come do an operation. And a plumber can't operate on a body, but a doctor can't repair my plumbing. And so you really need a specialist to help you. There are so many things, and it's so complicated now. And we have so many different products. And we have so many different ideas about how we can retire, what we're going to do in retirement. And, there are so many ways that we can get there that you really need an expert. It's been proven that having a financial advisor help you will actually give you better returns than if you did it on your own.
Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like assistance, why not turn to the team that has been repeatedly voted as best of the best 10 concurrent years straight and running, the team from Gulf Coast Financial Services, named that best of the best in financial services by the readers of the Lake City Reporter, and go talk to them. Pick up the phone, start a conversation, find out why, and then go in and sit down and look at your situation, your numbers, and formulate that financially focused written retirement income plan. The number to call to get the conversation started, 386-755-9018, 386-755-9018, 386-755-9018. And John, not only do we have the most recent book, Quitting is for Winners, but Retirement is Not for Wimps, but the original Financial Focus, back in print and back in the office as well. Both of these, I think, a comprehensive discussion of the issues, the risks, the opportunities, the strategies that are available today, and in many cases necessary in order to give ourselves reasonable expectations of a confident financial future.
Yeah, Peter, I mean, they're an easy read, but it helps go through some of the complexities. Retirement's not easy. I thought that when you got 65, everything was just simple. It isn't. I mean, there are a lot of decisions: Medicare, Social Security. When am I going to take it? What's the penalties going to be? How's it going to affect me? How do I get away from paying more for my Part B? How are taxes going to affect me? All those things are complicated. They're difficult, and we need to have a plan and a roadmap, and financially focused income plan will do that, Peter. It will do it. And I tell you what, after 33 and a half years, 32 and a half, this is, I think, the best program that we've ever come up with is this financially focused income plan.
Well, if you would like to get yours put together or review and evaluate your current investments and retirement accounts, your plan for the financial future, pick up the phone, give them a call, 386-755-9018, 386-755-9018. John, always appreciate your discussion and today's discussion of these 6 financial and retirement myths. Very important for us to understand and address and plan ahead of time.
Thank you, Peter. It was great to be here. Have a good week. We'll see you next week.
Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and tune in for more financial focus by visiting GulfCoastFinancial.net. The information presented on this program is provided for informational purposes only, without warranty of accuracy, completeness, or suitability for a particular purpose. This program is not intended to be and does not constitute financial, investment, legal, or tax advice. This information is general in nature and not specific enough to be construed as advice. You should not make any decision based on the information presented on this program without independent consultation with an appropriately licensed professional or competent advisor. Investment in securities or the market involves a potential risk for loss of principal. Trading, therefore, may not be suitable for all listeners. Annuity guarantees are based solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing company. Withdrawals of growth from annuities may be taxable as ordinary income in the year it is taken. Individuals should review contracts for specific details of the product's features and costs. Early withdrawals may subject the owner to penalties, fees, or taxes. John Kuykendall is registered with and securities are offered through Kovac Securities Inc., member FINRA SIPC, found online at www.kovacsecurities.com. Advisory services are offered through Gulf Coast Financial Services Inc., a registered investment advisor in Florida. Gulf Coast Financial Services Inc. is not affiliated with Kovac Securities Inc. or Kovac Advisors Inc. Past performance is not indicative of future results. All investing involves risk. Investment decisions should be based on your own goals, time horizon, and tolerance for risk. Due to various factors including changing market conditions and/or applicable laws, the content may no longer be reflective of current opinions or positions.